This is a CTV News special presentation. Stories of community support.
It was an easy decision to come and help if I could.
To have people come out and help us is absolutely, totally grateful.
Stories of volunteers making a difference.
I started doing it ages ago during the war. I was knitting socks for poor soldiers when I was 10.
Stories of learning.
I'm fascinated by the past. I really like learning how things were done and dressing up like the past.
And stories of pure joy.
I thanked him for inviting us to this trip and making my dream come true.
Join us over the next hour for Our Best. Here is Tara Nelson.
Hello, and thank you for joining us. For the next hour, we're going to show you some of the most inspiring, heartwarming, and impactful stories that we at CTV News Calgary had the pleasure of bringing you in 2025. We're showcasing our best storytelling while giving center stage to our best in our communities, the most impressive people making a difference in all kinds of fields. So we begin with the story of a massive community effort to help a business hit by an act of vandalism. Angel's Drive-In in the Northwest Calgary neighborhood of Bowness is known for that classic car sitting on its roof. In February, that vehicle was defaced and damaged, but it got a brand new lease on life thanks to the Calgary area car community and the CJ92 morning crew. We have two reports to show you from Kevin Green and Mark Villani documenting the restoration.
For decades, this 63 Cadillac Eldorado has graced Angel's Drive-In in Bowness. Heavily damaged by vandals in February, it was hoisted off the roof Tuesday to be repaired. On hand, Jesse and JD, the morning show crew from CJ92, who campaigned to restore the landmark.
Told the story of what happened, and we asked our listeners for help, and it was amazing to see how many people wanted to offer their services to us.
Stonewall Foundations donated the crane to get the car off its perch.
I grew up in Calgary and in the area, so it was an easy decision to come and help if I could.
Wednesday morning, an army of body shop specialists at Strathmore's Legacy Speed and Body descended on the car, all of them volunteering their time and expertise.
Without even asking them, they just one by one raised their hand and said, hey, I'll donate my time. I'll donate my time. So it kind of was a group effort, and they just all offered to donate their time.
They're not just wiping off the graffiti, they're grinding the car down, filling in the dents, and repainting it to Matador Red, the glossy color it would have been when it rolled off the factory line 62 years ago.
We're not going to put a brand new paint job on with cracks in the body filler, so we're taking those areas down to metal. We're going to re-fiberglass them, re-body fill them, make it smooth again.
Lordco donated the paint and the parts, and the way the Calgary area car community came together has overwhelmed longtime staff back at Angel's Drive-In.
The community in itself has been vandalized a lot, so to have people come out and help us is absolutely, totally grateful.
It's as Bowness as it gets, it's as Calgary as it gets, and this is as CJ as it gets. It doesn't seem to matter what the economic times are like or what the need is like. Calgarians are just in such a hurry to help.
Look at that. Just like new. Many hands in this case make fast work. The crew at Legacy say they should have the Cadillac back in showroom shape and ready for reinstallation sometime by the middle of next week. Kevin Green, CTV News, Strathmore.
This car is going back to where it always belonged, on the rooftop of Angel's Drive-In, a classic vehicle bringing back a vintage feel to a staple of the Bowness community.
It was beautiful. It's an icon.
Brooke Wenzel has worked at the diner since she was just 7 years old. The 1963 Cadillac convertible was always a conversation piece with her customers.
It's, always that place with the red car on the roof. So having it come back up is going to be iconic again.
But back in February, it was vandalized with graffiti. The team at CJ92 broke the news on its morning show.
We had so many rockaholics putting their hand up, wanting to help. And when it came time to be like, hey guys, what do we owe you? Everybody wanted to do it just from the goodness of their own heart.
So the team at Legacy Speed and Body in Strathmore stepped up. 15 employees went to work, bringing back the car's shine along with its original Matador Red factory color.
So we actually went a little bit overboard, took all the old filler out, replaced it with new filler, and put a nice shiny paint job on her.
It's going to mean a lot to all the guys at the shop. Just all the hard work that we put into, it's just going to be more rewarding just to drive by and see it every day.
Stonewall Foundations also helped lift the car free of charge. Angels felt like a second home to the company's owner.
Would religiously come to Angels in the morning for coffee for years, for as long as I can remember. It's overwhelming, and it just shows how much the community supports this.
The car's original owner, Al Goman, was also overwhelmed. He once outraced an airplane with the Cadillac on the tarmac of the Springbank Airport.
For what they've done to it, it's pretty astonishing, really. So it really makes me happy.
A happy moment, all thanks to the kindness of Calgarians.
That's what the Bowness community is. As soon as anything happens, there's always people stepping up.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
What a beauty. Well, after the Cadillac's return, Angels Drive-In launched a new permanent menu item, the CJ92 Burger, with $1 from every purchase going to the CJ92 Kids Fund. Another Calgary business was involved in an exciting project in 2025. The owners of a family furniture store produced a movie. It's called Retail, a comedy about real-life occurrences that have happened at the store over the years. The low-budget production used Canadian actors and comedians and family and staff to fill all the roles. Here's Kevin Fleming.
Eric Amber's parents purchased this furniture store in the 1970s, and he was put to work when he was 9 years old.
I was opening boxes, putting things together, you know, and I grew up but when I was 18, I became a salesperson, you know, so I've been here against my will for 40 years, you know. And I've seen it all.
During the pandemic, Amber started writing down all the humorous stories he could remember about staff and customers over the years, and it turned into a movie script.
Hi, I'm Marty Benson, and this is my sister Barb. My parents, who own this business, they made me promise not to put any swear words in the movie, but there's one or two.
Pat Downing works at the store and helped with the script. He was tasked with directing the movie and enjoyed watching the scenes come to life a little too much.
I have a bad habit because I like to laugh, and so it's very hard when you're the director to be ruining scenes because, like, oh, please, Mr. Director, stop ruining the takes. The actors, like, they're giving it their all, and you're like, can we do that again because it's my fault?
Eric's sister, Renee, also started working at the store when she was young.
My first job was dusting until I broke too many things, and then I moved up to customer service, so answering the phones at 12 years old.
Not surprisingly, she was cast as the sister to the lead character played by Eric.
You don't react to information like a normal person.
I am a normal person. It's everyone else out there that's berserk.
Eric hopes to use the movie as a pilot for a series he's currently writing, and there's no end to the content that customers provide.
In some ways, it's like for that. It's for me and my friends and family, you know. But I think people, you know, will enjoy it as well. Yeah. Oh, pardon us. Sorry. We're just shooting a little video here.
Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
Retail, the movie, is available on Amazon Prime Video. Well, it's a love story decades in the making, and it's been on display for all to see. Coming up, one Calgary man's mission to make sure his wife is reminded often about his love. It's pretty easy today to send a heart emoji to someone you love, but a Calgary man has been taking his heartfelt messages to the next level for 20 years. Shane Basson is the man behind the massive hearts that commuters sometimes see driving north on McLeod Trail at the Canyon Meadows overpass. The hearts are for his loving wife, Sandy. They told their story to our Kevin Fleming.
It's just after 4 a.m. and the perfect time for Shane Basson to put up a heart for his wife, Sandy. He uses wire stakes and surveyor's tape in the summer and only leaves it up for a few days in case the city comes to cut the grass.
Just once the police went by, because I'm there early, and they shone those big lights at me, and I just went and waved at them. And they just waved at me and then went away. I thought they were coming up to tell me to leave or something, but no.
The finished heart is visible to all the commuters heading north on McLeod Trail. When there's no snow, Basson only puts the hearts up a few times for Sandy's birthday or anniversary. But in the winter, the signs are up after every snowfall, and he tries to be creative.
I took a generator with Christmas tree lights, And I went up there and started it, and it worked. And I was like, oh, come on. It was cool. And then I went, I can't leave it here though, because the generator. So I called her. I said, you better go look. And then I had to shut it off. But that was a pretty good one. It was fun.
The tradition started after their second meeting 29 years ago, and 2 years later, they were married.
I keep saying, Shane, you don't have to keep doing this, because I know it's tiring. He gets up so early in the morning and does it and stuff. And I say, you know, I appreciate it. I love it. And it makes me feel special. But I feel, you know, after 29 years, but it's kind of, so it's nice to see and stuff like that. And yeah, I enjoy it. So if he wants to keep going, I'm okay with that.
Shane picked a spot that Sandy drives by on her daily work commute, and it makes her smile every time she sees his messages.
But honestly, I'm going to keep doing this till I can.
Basson says not many people know who's behind the love notes, and when they find out, they're impressed. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
Now, 1 year, Basson placed a refrigerator box on the hill, wrapped it like a massive present, and then he hid inside it and texted Sandy to come see it. He was quite relieved when it was, in fact, his wife who actually opened it. Members of Calgary's film and TV industry say there were fewer job opportunities in 2025 compared to the last 4 years. So it was a welcome work to have a special episode of a TV series in its 19th season shoot in the area. Alicia Philberg was on the set of Murdoch Mysteries as it took over a ranch last summer.
Really happy to be in Alberta. I love it here.
Detective Murdoch and Chief Constable Brackenreed are normally in Toronto, but an upcoming episode takes them to the original Calgary Stampede back in 1912.
You shoot stuff here all the time, but for a different show from a different city to come here, everybody's been so accommodating, and I mean, look at the place. It's fantastic.
The 3-day production for the long-running Canadian series Murdoch Mysteries comes during a slower year for the Alberta film and TV industry. Experts say lucrative tax breaks in Europe play a big part, so opportunities like this are important.
It's really important. The whole market has kind of shifted, and we're seeing more co-production and more Canadian production.
While some of the crew is from Toronto, there are more than 80 local union workers, including sound mixers, camera technicians, and costume staff. And they have a lot of experience with the Old West.
It's half an hour to just stress this hat.
Yeah, that one
make it
could
look
take
like it's from 1912.
The wonderful thing about the Calgary crew is they know how to do this.
Though filming a murder mystery can sometimes add to the workload.
We're going to be shooting somebody, so we had to buy him 4 different jackets.
Aside from the murder part, the episode will also highlight some real history, including Stampede founder Guy Wiedeck and rodeo champ Tom Three Persons.
Blessed to be able to be one of the shows that can actually tell part of that story and highlight some of the figures at the time and the people that actually competed, the people that organized.
It's an opportunity for this Calgarian, too. The teacher and Western history major was one of the more than 50 extras on set.
You know, rodeos weren't what we see today with the midway and the concessions and everything like that. It was a lot more scaled back and a lot more kind of the community. So it's really cool to see kind of what it would have actually been like and to give people a taste of that as well.
Audiences can get a taste of old-timey iconic Calgary when the episode comes out in January.
I get to ride a damn horse in this episode. Of course I do. Yeah, I'll need some help. Got to do a bit of roping too.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Turner Valley.
Okay, we've got the details. That Calgary Stampede episode is scheduled to air January 5th. Other major productions that shot in the Calgary area in 2025 were Heartland, Anna Pigeon, and My Life with the Walter Boys. It's something many kids grew up playing with, but that doesn't mean you have to outgrow it. Calgary artist Calvin Duick is still as passionate about Lego today as he was 20 years ago. But now he uses thousands of bricks to make massive pieces that can take months to complete. Kevin Fleming brought us this story last spring.
It's a meticulous art form that Calvin Duick started years ago to keep his hands busy while watching television.
I sort of told myself that, you know, if I'm going to be doing this, then I have to be doing something productive at the same time. And I kind of scoured through my closets and dug up an old bucket of Lego and started.
He creates interesting 3D shapes with the bricks and uses a lot of math to make sure his designs are symmetrical.
The last piece that I did, I worked on from April to Christmas, every day or every other day for at least a few hours.
Duick says there's a lot of trial and error involved in the process, and with Lego, he can easily change things.
I have to sort of sit down with a pile of Lego and just goof around and not have any kind of consequences. It's just free, and usually stuff comes up that way. Usually like I get a structural idea and then play around with that.
This is his largest piece to date that hangs in a downtown Calgary boardroom.
Everybody who comes in goes up to it and says, is this Lego? What is this? Who made it? It's incredibly cool. And I couldn't agree more.
Maya Gohill is a friend and artist who enjoys seeing what Duick comes up with.
I think all of that is really remarkable because they're not just aesthetic pieces. They're these marvels of math and algorithmic logic in a way.
Gohill jokes that Duick's day job is a hairstylist, and she enjoys watching his creativity in action.
I have naturally curly hair, and he treats my hair like a sculpture. Like there's moments where I see him kind of moving around and he's looking at it. It's literally like he's kind of sculpting my hair.
Duick says Lego is an expensive medium to work with, and that if a piece isn't selling, he'll just take it apart and start over. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
Amazing. You can see more of Duick's art on his Instagram page under his handle, Swedish Bullet. From small Lego pieces to art on a citywide scale, a newcomer to Calgary is exploring his adopted city in a unique way. He's turning his bike rides into art and mapping out designs on his GPS app. As Mark Villani shows us, this cyclist is using pedal power to connect with his community, logging hundreds of kilometers.
Alfonso Quintero is gearing up for a bike ride. And while it's his main way of getting around, it's also a creative outlet.
I just have a map from the pathway and try to go as far as I can.
The 46-year-old moved to Calgary from Barranquilla, Colombia just 6 months ago. Back home, he was known for leading a cycling team that spent hours designing and riding along these unique GPS-tracked routes on the social media app Strava. More than 50 of them, including this cute dog, a rose, an image of a praying monk, even a T-Rex. Quintero decided to bring the hobby with him to his new city.
Just spend my day sketching, maybe like a challenge. It was like a challenge to do some drawings.
Drawings as simple as a maple leaf, which took him just under 2 hours to complete, and more complex ones like a pair of boots in honor of the Calgary Stampede. He's been putting on hundreds of kilometers, but his latest creation is a masterpiece.
I've been around McMahon Stadium. I have seen a couple of practices.
Practices from the Calgary Stampeders of the Canadian Football League. Their skills inspired Quintero to design a bike route featuring the club's iconic galloping horse logo, a more than 40-kilometer route spanning much of the city. Other cyclists say they're amazed.
I think it's a pretty creative way of getting around and touring the city, actually. We got a great bike path system, and it's great to take advantage of it.
I actually thought it was a longer ride, but it looks doable. Yeah, I will try it if I had the crew to go with.
And as he learns the lay of the land, Quintero says Calgary offers something he never experienced back home.
There's so much respect here for the biker.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
And Quintero says he plans to keep adding new designs to his Calgary collection, one pedal at a time. The tap, tap, tap sound of the telegraph is mainly heard these days only in old movies. But a program at Heritage Park is sparking new interest in new generations. That story is still to come. Yard work can take a lot of time and a lot of effort, but there are some who just eat it up. That's why the City of Calgary continued a program in 2025 to manage green spaces with goats. Our Alicia Fieldberg met the herd.
Calgary has goats on landscaping duty again, continuing a program that started in 2016.
Very happy to have the program back on the hill and the goats doing their thing here.
As 800 of them munch in Nose Hill Park, it helps lower the risk of a fire and removes invasive plants.
And over the course of 14 days, they'll be eating about 40 hectares.
A professional shepherd and trained dogs manage the herd 24/7.
I know it looks like I'm just suntanning with goats all day. We're always here actively paying attention to what they're eating.
The goal is to remove woody brush encroaching on the native grassland.
They prefer broadleaf plants, weeds, seeds, and bark over the grasses.
Elk, moose, and bison used to accomplish this when they roamed the area.
And so we're reintroducing grazing back to the landscape for the health of the grassland ecosystems, get rid of their vegetation overgrowth, and stimulate shoot growth.
Goats have an edge over other livestock.
Special enzyme in their belly that helps them deal with toxic plants.
The city says the program costs about the same as herbicide or physically removing plants, but goats come with added benefits: hooves to till the soil and droppings to fertilize it.
The goats are really beneficial, better than mowing or other vegetation management control.
Which is why goats may be the greatest of all time at getting this job done. Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
If you see the goats this coming summer, remember to steer clear of the herd, keep dogs on leashes, and that'll keep everyone safe. It's a passion, a hobby, and a factor in conservation. The Calgary Aquarium Society has been around for 75 years. As Kevin Fleming shows us, members of the group are helping to repopulate endangered species.
She took up the hobby a few years ago, and Corrine Langford says it's a great stress relief.
It's been nice to have something that has nothing to do with with work or kids, and just to kind of have something new to learn.
She spends about 4 hours a week caring for her fish, and she's particular about the species in her tanks.
I don't want to see anybody fighting or being mean, but instead these guys, they end up flaring at each other, and then whoever's the prettiest wins. So it's gorgeous.
Langford is one of 99 members with the Calgary Aquarium Society. Fred Guy first joined in 1964 when he was 13. At one time, he had 100 aquariums in his home. Now that number's down to 20.
The club has changed quite a bit over that time. But I think the common threads have held it together. And what's good right now, especially, is it's not all old-timers like me. There's a lot of younger people coming in.
Curtis Jerome says the society also has a conservation component where members can help save endangered species.
We brought back fish. There only were 2 left, and they got them from the zoo. The curators there gave them to some of the hobbyists, and they had more success with the hobbyists breeding them than they had in the zoo environment.
Ben Mueller says members learn from each other, but also from experts invited to speak at monthly meetings. And he says once you start raising fish, it's hard to limit yourself.
The multi-tank syndrome will kick in. You'll get one tank, then you'll have a few extra fish that, oh, they need a new house, so we'll spread them over there. And then maybe they breed. It turns into 3 or 4, and then next thing you know, you're like me and you have around 30 tanks.
The society is always looking for new members, and organizers say everyone is keen to share their experience to help grow the community. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
You can learn more about the Aquarium Society and its activities at calgaryaquariumsociety.com. 95-year-old Janet Meddings is still keeping active after retirement by giving back to her community. She had a long, productive career in social work. Now she spends her hours creating a little warmth for her neighbors. Kevin brought us her story last spring.
Her fingers rarely stop moving morning, noon, and night. When Janet Meddings is knitting and crocheting, she doesn't even think about it because she's been doing both for so long.
I started doing it ages ago during the war. I was knitting socks for poor soldiers when I was 10 with nasty khaki wool that they gave us. And I always felt sorry for the soldiers because I'm sure they were lumpy.
Now Meddings has shifted to making blankets for agencies in Calgary that help the needy.
I do about 2 or 3 a month. And then if we can sell them, it's wonderful because most charities would really rather have money than blankets.
Kimberly Smith says many of the staff have purchased blankets from Meddings.
Last year alone, she donated to In From the Cold, so it was about $1,600, and she sells the blankets for $30 per blanket.
Meddings can regularly be found with others from the Rocky Ridge retirement community sharing stories while enjoying the fire.
She's welcomed me here. She's given me some tips and ideas, and we reminisce about good old England.
I try to do some crocheting, and every time I see her working, I think I should do a little bit more.
Donna Grover started a knitting club here a few years ago with a lot of donated yarn.
Janet has always kept on knitting, and we've always gathered up extra wool for her.
She floats around the dining room with all the good-looking men, and just kind of builds a culture in here
that makes you want to live here. Staff say Medding's outlook on life is an inspiration.
I think just don't worry about the things you can't control. Just enjoy. Make life happy.
Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
What a talent. And much of the yarn that Meddings uses has been donated to the Rocky Ridge retirement community. Now to a lost art that's in danger of disappearing forever. But Heritage Park is trying to keep it alive. A new generation of telegraph operators is emerging. The park is one of the only places in North America that is still teaching the craft to teenagers. Kevin stopped by to bring us this story last summer.
They're two of the 6 junior members of the Morris Telegraph Club at Heritage Park. Sienna Wright says it's easier to send a message in Morse code than to receive and decode one. Her technique is to write down what she hears and then turn the code into letters of the alphabet.
I'm fascinated by the past. I really like learning how things were done and dressing up like the past, so I really enjoy doing this.
Ariane Aubin has memorized the code and says it takes a keen ear to decipher an incoming message. Her sister is a member too, and they practice at home.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I've texted her in Morse code before. I've also tapped between our walls at home, so it's sort of like our own little thing that no one else really understands.
Morse code was invented in the 1840s as a way to send messages quickly over long distances.
The railroads primarily used it to transmit train orders from a dispatcher to a little station like this. That was the chief reason. They weren't using it all the time, so any extra capacity in the system, it was telegrams.
To get messages to engineers and conductors of a moving train, operators used hoops at the end of a long pole so the train didn't have to stop, a technique still in practice at the park. Marilyn McGuire heads the club and says visitors at the park enjoy seeing their names spelled out in Morse code. She says it's important to teach the craft to the next generation.
It's a dying art. People who did it as a job are in their late 80s, some of them in their 90s. There are a few that have picked it up and learned as their 70s, but this is the only club internationally that has been working with young people.
We have people come in that say their grandparents used to do it, and it's sort of nice for like a newer generation to sort of continue, know a bit of the history.
Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
That's very cool. Back in the day, good telegraph operators had to send messages at a rate of at least 15 words a minute. We're going to sink our teeth into our next story. After the break, a close-up look at a Calgary business putting a real shine into customer smiles. If you think your smile might be missing something, we may have just the right thing for you. A Calgary artist is creating custom jewelry that covers your teeth. They're called grills, and they can be made for just one tooth or your entire mouth. Kevin Fleming gave us a look at the business last January.
He's a fan of fantasy video games, and Ryan Trabadillo is looking for a piece of jewelry to reflect that. That's where Phil Newen can help. He creates unique pieces of art that fit over your teeth.
Just getting that really individualized experience. I think each piece ends up being really special, more than just a ring that anyone can buy and put on. It's only I can wear this.
Jai DeJesus has known Newen since high school and was one of his first clients. He enjoys having a custom-made grill.
It's a 2-piece, and just wanted some floral, like a flower design, simple flower, and got some green enamel to fill the petals, and then the inside part is hollow, so really, really cool abstract flower.
Newen has spent 5 years honing his craft and had to do a lot of research to learn the technique to make sure his grills are safe for clients.
I talked to a lot of different dentists and a lot of different grill makers worldwide, and it all depends on the mold up. So if you get a really good mold up, that's the most important part, because if you don't get a good mold up, it won't fit right, it'll your tooth gets snagged a little bit,
His clients range in age from his 12-year-old cousin to people in their 50s, and he prefers to work with teeth that aren't perfectly straight.
So crooked teeth is really good for grills. It has more curvature for the grill to hold on, So sometimes it's a way better fit than if it's completely straight.
Malcolm Plana designs clothing and wants something to enhance his look. He chose subtle, not a full mouth grill like the 70s James Bond villain named Jaws.
I'm a fashion guy, so I just like to kind of like stick out of the crowd, trying to look a little bit different, do my own thing. So it's definitely a conversational piece, a conversation starter.
Nguyen dabbles in all kinds of artistic mediums, but says right now his grills are his bread and butter. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
Nguyen says you can actually wear the grills quite comfortably, talking and drinking, but you are not allowed to eat with them in place. Now to another successful Calgary business story. Generations of readers have visited a little independent bookstore since it opened in 1975. In 2025, Owl's Nest Books celebrated its 50th anniversary. Much has changed in the bookstore business over the years, but through it all, Owl's Nest continues to have a loyal following. Here again is Kevin Fleming.
She can't even tell you how many books she's purchased from Owl's Nest Books, but Bridget Stewart says it's well over 100.
You get lots of help picking. Usually the staff here have read or know of whatever book you're thinking of buying, and it's a lovely environment to come here. Plus, they welcome my dog.
Ryan Smith is the current owner who started working here in 2020, and 2 years later, he bought it.
I tell people it was a fantasy, not a dream, you know? Like, it was just one of those things you never thought would actually come true, and then there it is, offered right to me. And like, how do you say no?
Smith says the store focuses on customer service and has seen steady support from the community and the Shop Local movement.
50 years, that says to me, that says community. That happens because Calgarians consistently, year after year, choose to shop here and support here.
The store's history is proudly displayed with photos of many of the former owners. Evelyn DeMille was one of the originals who sold it to Michael Hare in the mid-1990s on the condition the name wasn't changed. He kept it, but moved the store from Bow Trail to Britannia.
The store is like I don't know what it is, but it's something over and above anything I thought it would be. So exceptionally proud to be part of it.
Chapters in Amazon did not exist. We did a lot of work with schools. We started doing school book fairs in that period. So we were part of the thriving independent bookstore community.
Books are one of the few media that you can still hand to a friend and have them have the same experience you did with no other fancy hassles. It's just here, enjoy. And that's, I don't think, going anywhere anytime soon.
And now it's ready for the next generation of readers. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
On the anniversary weekend, the store hosted a number of local authors for book signings. More than 1,100 young entrepreneurs launched small businesses in Calgary on Lemonade Day back in July. Lemonade stands were set up across the city. The project is designed to introduce children between the ages of 5 and 13 to business skills. Video journalist Darren Wright was there to see the kids squeeze the day.
Today is officially Lemonade Day in Calgary, and we've got over 1,100 kids who have set up stands across the city. They've gone through our free curriculum to learn how to set up their first business, and they're out making money and learning how to run a business.
We've had such a good company for our lemonade. It's been going so well. We've had so many things going as planned. A lot of our lemonade has been sold. 12-ounce pink lemonade, please. Would you like ice and a lemon with that?
Yes, please. I think it's a really great idea. It really gives kids 5 to 11 an opportunity to see how a business works from start to finish. Because they have an app where they do a business plan and they, put their expenses, they put their income, they have to tell, how they're gonna build their stand and see the process that's involved. It doesn't just appear. It's really great for them to learn how to do that. Perfect. Okay, you remember what kind you wanted?
Pink.
A friend of mine did it last year and we went, and I thought it was a really great thing what that tiller is doing, so I thought I'd see if my daughter wanted to join this year, and she just jumped at it.
it's really important to build not only skills like business and math, but skills like communication. Kids have a chance to build confidence through this experience. They get to express their creativity by coming up with a name for their stand and figuring out what their product is going to be. And we find that kids who go through this program really feel that they've not only learned a lot, but feel more confident.
Lots of kids think money grows on trees, which it doesn't, so it really especially opened up my daughter's eyes on how much things cost, how hard you have to work to make that money and be able to profit from that.
We've learned that making money to donate to other people is something good to do.
Very impressive. Prizes were awarded to the kids' best business and branding plans. A lot of work and a lot of love goes into the costumes you see at powwows. Coming up, we'll take you back to the Calgary Stampede for the story behind all of that colorful regalia. Music is a valuable skill for kids to learn at a young age. They develop an appreciation for it, and learning an instrument can build their confidence. Last spring, a music teacher on the Stoney Nakoda First Nation was recognized by his community for the work he's doing. He was one of 5 teachers across the country nominated for a Juno. Kevin Fleming shows us just how much he is appreciated.
They're using the rhythm from a modern song and playing it on a traditional powwow drum. This is something Drew Van Allen does regularly with his students at the Nakoda Elementary School.
When people hear Nirvana, but they hear it being played by a bunch of grade 4s that has an Indigenous twist, it immediately creates a bridge that we weren't intending to do, but it intrinsically happens within the project.
Van Allen has been teaching here for 10 years, and in March was one of 5 finalists nominated for the 2025 Music Counts Teacher of the Year Award.
Get the call was unexpected, for sure. Because we're not looking for validation. We're not putting stuff out there to get recognized.
Amy Cutknife says the school's vice principal nominated Van Allen for the award, and while he didn't win, he's entrenched in the Indigenous community here.
He wants to know about the culture and he wants to know about the language. He's continuously learning on what connects to the kids. So he brings that out of them, and then they have something to relate to.
Here he's known as Mr. V, and he teaches kids in kindergarten to grade 5 who are eager to learn.
You get to play the xylophones, the drum, and all that.
Yeah. What do you think of Mr. V?
I think he's a good teacher.
Van Allen knows he's making a difference in the community when he runs into former students.
I was just filling up with gas the other day, and I had one of my students behind the counter say, "It's because of your music class that I fell in love with guitar." That's a win, right? I can retire right there.
Kevin Fleming, CTV News on the Stoney Nakoda First Nation.
Van Allen and the students record their songs and they post them to YouTube. It's a way for the students to share their work, but also realize their accomplishments. Indigenous music and dance was on full display for thousands of spectators at the Calgary Stampede last summer. Video journalist Darren Wright was there to capture the sights and sounds.
Today is the first day of the powwow, so we completed our registrations, which is all the dancers who are competing at the powwow. It is a big event of 865 registered dancers, and then we opened it up to the people of the Elbow River camp because, as you know, they've been busy. They haven't had a chance to make it down. This event has been growing year over year since its inception in 2022. I'm very proud to say that more and more people are not only coming to want to compete, but they are also coming to just witness all of these top dancers throughout the world. They look at what we call moves. They look at timing. They look at whether or not they end when the song ends. If somebody oversteps the drum, we call it getting bucked off. Us First Nations people, we pride ourselves on our regalia because our regalia are made by hand. Every single bead has either touched the grandmother's fingers, the aunt's fingers, the mother's fingers, the sisters, the brothers, the fathers, the uncles, the grandfathers. Every family member usually has a hand in helping with regalia in some form.
Fantastic. The powwow featured dancers and drummers from across Canada and the United States. It's scheduled to return to the Stampede in 2026, which next year runs from July 3rd to the 12th. A young Calgary basketball player had quite a journey to see his favorite NBA star. He actually made 2 big trips. The first, a little disappointing, but wait until you hear about the second trip. That story's coming up. Not many of us ever get to meet our heroes, but a 10-year-old Calgarian got the chance of a lifetime last winter when he met NBA superstar Steph Curry. And it wasn't exactly a chance meeting. After Curry learned of the family's adventurous drive to come to an NBA game in San Francisco, he reached out to them. Kevin Fleming has the story.
He's tall for his age, and 10-year-old Amarion Henry spends 4 days a week here training.
I just love the sport. It's an amazing sport. It's very fun to play. You could play with your friends, or you could play competitively. You could play at any level.
For Christmas, his parents surprised Amarion with a trip to San Francisco to see the Golden State Warriors play Memphis and his hero, Steph Curry. They drove 22 hours but got a heartbreaking text before the game.
I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry to tell you, Steph Curry isn't playing tonight. And the disappointment on his face, it really hurt me internally.
Arnold is a content creator and put a video together a few days later to share the family's epic journey in sadness.
Woke up the next day, 1 million views. All my followers were tagging Steph Curry. Please, Steph Curry, make these boys' dreams come true. Please, please, please.
And that news made its way to the NBA superstar, and he reached out to Arnold.
Steph Curry's name popped out. I kid you not. I spent 5 minutes screaming in the hotel. My son had no idea why I was screaming. My wife had no idea why I was screaming. I was screaming for 5 minutes. I was like, oh my goodness, oh my goodness, oh my goodness.
Curry treated Arnold and Amarion to an all-expenses-paid trip to Toronto to see him take on the Raptors. They had courtside seats and got to meet Curry.
I thanked him for inviting us to this trip, and yeah, making my dream come true for us to come here.
Curry told Amarion that if he continues to work hard, that he'll have a chance one day to play in the NBA, and he has big goals.
My goal is to become the best three-point shooter and break Curry's record.
Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
Arnold played basketball at a pretty high level himself. He was the first player from the nation of St. Lucia to play Division I college ball in the U.S. as a freshman. He now spends a lot of time in the gym in Calgary with his son. Now to another amazing basketball story. A Calgary woman made history in 2025 as the first ever player from our city to be drafted into the WNBA. Local athletes celebrated her incredible journey to the top. Mark Villani has more on how she's inspiring now the next generation.
It's a celebration like no other, hearing her name called on the world stage.
Just like dreams, like coming true right in front of your face.
The Indiana Fevers select
Yvonne Ejim is the first Calgarian drafted to the Women's National Basketball League. Selected 33rd overall by the Indiana Fever, the 23-year-old capped off an incredible collegiate career with the Gonzaga Bulldogs this season, becoming the all-time leading scorer in program history.
To be able to be like, a landmark, a first of many to come, that's always been my goal, to come back and, be an inspiration.
Yvonne becomes both the inspiration and North Star for a lot of those athletes, but also proof of concept for development programs.
Ejim began her basketball journey here in Calgary with the Genesis League. She played extensively for Alberta's provincial team, capturing a silver medal at the Under-17 National Championships, and dominated at Calgary's Edge School in her grade 12 year.
Day in and day out, they're in the weight room, around the court, they're studying, and to show where it can take you,
is super rewarding.
It inspires me to just work harder and harder every day. Get into the gym, ask my coaches questions, do everything I can to push myself to make it there. It was nice to hear her story and what she was able to accomplish. You got to be able to do stuff outside of basketball, in the gym. You have to put in the work.
And that hard work runs in the family. Ejim's brother Dion plays for the Calgary Surge. Top talent like this certainly hasn't gone unnoticed.
Really versatile post player, great face-up game, really high motor, defends really, really well.
The most prepared young woman I've ever met in my life.
Eddie Richardson got the news over a FaceTime call on Monday night. He coached Ejim when she was just a teenager.
The hardest working, most energetic person on the floor, and when your best player is that person, it makes it easy.
But making it to the highest level is no easy task, and this milestone is just the beginning.
Seize anything you can, everything you can, and just keep putting one foot in front of the other.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
Ejim is the third Albertan to be drafted into the WNBA. She was later waived by the Indiana Fever and became a free agent. Thank you so much for joining us for this look back at some of our best storytelling of 2025, featuring the best of our communities. Take care. We'll see you for more on CTV News Calgary in 2026.